Thank you for joining me with my latest stitch with me. This is where I was sitting this morning, and as you can see, Coco joined me. On my right, that is where all my projects are sitting. I had them all ready for me to grab. On the seat next to Coco is my projects that I've worked on this week. So I hope you enjoy stitching with me this morning or this afternoon. I hope you have a drink of your choice to join in with me. So I hope you enjoy this. Thank you for joining me. As you can see, it's not a very nice day. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to my stitch with me. I'm sorry there's a wee bit of shaking. I just need to move that a little bit. Coco's having a bath right next to me. So I had this all sorted. And now I don't think I can use the magnifier at this angle. So I had it all sorted, and I was going to stitch upside down, and then I decided I don't really need to stitch upside down just yet, but in actual reality I would have preferred to. And then I didn't need to stretch, so I just jigging it still. So I can use a magnifier, can I? Is that in the way? There. Can you see it? Right. So I said, Coco just jumped down. I said that I just bought a new magnifier, but I didn't explain anything about it. I had a 3.5 magnification lens, and I didn't find it enough on my 25 Lugana fabric. I couldn't see it well enough. So when I bought that new it's going to be a lot of this, me thinking today. When I bought the new magnifier, I noticed that you could buy new lenses as well. So I bought a 5 dioptic magnify lens as well for both of my magnifiers. So all you had to do was undo about 8 screws and put the new lens in, and I'm finding it fantastic. So I'm back to working on my 25 count pieces, which is really good. I have 2 stitching spots, and I had to muck about a little bit today to try and work out how to get my stitch with me to work. In the end, none of my stands would work, and then I had this thought, why am I changing the stand from what I've always used? Why don't I just use the stand and just put my pattern keeper on one of my new stands? Oops, sorry. It's always when I have to bring my hand out because I've got a knot. Can I get it from behind? I don't know. It is just a tangled. Oh, I'm really good at this. I only have a little tiny knot, but as I try and pull the knot out, I always pull the wrong side of the thread, and I make my knot worse and worse. Let's see if we can actually pull it out today. So Dave's away today. He is at a stock sale. He didn't buy the stock that he wanted last time. He came home with some Highland cattle and he wasn't very impressed with himself. But the price was right. He very much feels that Highland cattle are hobby farmers' stock, which I had to laugh. He has somebody coming in the next few days to sign a contract with. A meatworks or something, and he has to supply so much stock per year to them, so he's hoping to sell some of our Wagyu that we've got here at a decent price. And that's how it works, is if you have so much stock, if you have a contract, you get a consistent price. So he's doing that, and tomorrow he's going out for a meal. It sounds like the local restaurant has a luncheon and it's chef's choice, and they do an open meal plan or something, and it's just once a month, and the chef chooses what to cook, and it's $70 per person for a 4-course meal, and it's meant to be really good. So I think he's going to go to that. There's not much point in me going to it because I don't really eat. I have actually started to eat a little bit since I have been on the antibiotics. It has actually helped my stomach, so that's been good. I do have some Dave stories for you today. It's not a stitch with me without Dave stories. So I have gone on the antibiotics, so in preparation for having my wisdom tooth removed on the 5th, and it'll be removed, and then I'll go on the antibiotics again after it's taken out. So obviously I did have a slight infection because I am feeling a lot better, but it could have been other things going on as well. So I have been stitching quite a lot since. So if you can hear Coco's litter machine in the background, it's that time of day. She's busy going in and out. I even cleaned it for the first time the other day. I do like the fact that it's all automatic and you only have to clean it every few months. Uh-oh, that's not the stitch. I'll a pattern keeper. That is one thing with so used to having it right above, I'm not watching it so much. Right, put that out. So I got a lot of my packages away yesterday for my giveaway. Doreen contacted me last night. I'm still waiting for a couple of people to contact me. So hopefully they do that in the next week or so. And I'll get the last away. I'm still playing around with a few other ideas. I actually want Brendan to help me today. I had an idea last night and I'm just not quite sure how to do it. So we will see if he can help me get my idea onto the 3D printer. Really lucky that he was able to show me step by step how to get my images to make them into 3D prints. So we have caught a couple of possums in our live trip, but our other possum, which we think is the male possum, the big possum that scared me into the house, is a little too cunning, we think. It keeps eating the apple outside the cage but doesn't go in the cage. And I said to Dave, did you put apple outside last night? And he goes, no. And I said, oh, why not? And he goes, because I've run out of apple. And I say, oh, okay. So that was a bit of a laugh. I did do that right. No, I didn't. Mark. So, I'll tell you the funny story about Dave. Dave was vacuuming the other day, and he stopped vacuuming all of a sudden, and then he went and did something else, and I thought, oh, okay, he must be going to go do something outside. And then he came back, and he said, I had a blockage. And I said, oh, okay. I said, what are you going to do about it? And he goes, what do you normally do? I said, I always drop a small screwdriver down it. And he said, oh. And there were, at the time when he was asking me about it, there was a little screwdriver next to me. But it was a little snub-nosed screwdriver, but it was a very fat screwdriver. So he tried, and it didn't even fit in the fat end of the hose of the vacuum cleaner. I have is it a Dyson or is it a Hoover? One of those type. And it didn't, it's because he took the hose off the vacuum cleaner and it didn't fit down the big end. So he said, oh, well, it doesn't fit. I said, oh, okay. I said, but you need a little one. Then he went outside and then came back in with the broom, and I just looked at it and I looked at him and said, oh, okay. And then he put it in the big end of the vacuum cleaner hose and he shoved it in, and he got so far and then it stopped, and he kept shoving it, and then he started banging it against the floor, and he kept banging it, and by that stage I was just dumbfounded and I was in tears. I was laughing that hard. I was holding on to the side of my chair because I was laughing that hard. I was concerned I was going to fall out of my chair. And it was like, you must have a big blockage in there. Why did you suck down the vacuum cleaner? Because he was banging it and nothing was coming out. Okay, the broom wasn't coming out either. And I went to the bathroom because he wasn't very impressed with how hard I was laughing. So I I went to the bathroom and I thought, oh look, it'll be all sorted by the time I come back. So by the time I washed my hands and mucked about and everything else, and then I came back and it was still banging this, and then the broom popped through the end of the hose, and it's like, wow. And all it was this little tiny strip of cardboard that probably went from one side of the hose to the other, and it was backed up with fluff. Cocoa fluff, funny enough. Yes, you, Bubby. White cocoa fluff. Okay, I will admit it. Some of it was black fluff, which could have been my fluff out of my slippers. So, had to laugh over that. And then all I could see was this broom stuck in the hose. And then he started banging the hose on the floor, trying to get this broom out. And I'm going, what are you going to do now? I said, I don't think we can vacuum with that broom stuck in my hose in my vacuum cleaner, you know. And he goes, it's not funny. I'm going, okay. So I had to walk away because I just couldn't watch it. And I said, do you think you should have started with the small end of the hose to start off with? And he goes, you think? And then later on I said to him, what did you learn out of this incident? That hoses aren't built like they used to be. And brooms are either built bigger than they used to be, or vacuum cleaner hoses are built smaller. And then later in the day he goes, I've come to the conclusion, he goes, I just don't think I should be doing vacuuming. I said, oh, is that the solution? And then yesterday afternoon he was doing his water tank. He was doing, we had a 200, no, it has to be 2,000 litre water tank. What are you doing on my shelf, Bubby? This 2,000 water tank, but it's a water collection tank. So we're putting drain pipes from our shed to collect water, and we're going to use it on our garden. So he had to do the spouting for it. So in reality, Dave hasn't had to do any handyman jobs for the last 20 odd years because he's been so busy on the farm doing farm things that we've always had to get people to come in and do those sort of jobs because he's too busy doing everything else. So he had to cut a hole into the top of the tank, and he got a 65mm hole, but the pipe was 65mm. And I'm going, well, how's that going to fit in your hole? And he goes, it'll fit. I said, I don't think it will. And he goes, well, I don't know. And I'm going, can't you bend it? You can't sit here, Bubby. I said, can't you put in boiling water and just bend it a little to put in? And he goes, I don't know. I said, well, I'd try that first. So he went and cut the hole, and then he was talking about, well, if it didn't fit, he could file it or saw it to make it fit, and I was going, oh, I don't like this idea, because then it might, yeah, it's a bit scary. So he went and did it, and then he took the jug out, because I said, I wonder if you put boiling water out there and you can actually heat it up and just melt it a little bit or soften it a little bit to make it fit that way. So, and then he goes, yes, it did soften, but by the time he'd heated it up, then brought it round to where it was, and then climbed up the ladder and got to the top of the tank, it got cold again. I said, well, I don't think you want me to A, climb up the ladder or walk around that tank, because it's quite wet and uneven, and help you. I don't think you want any of the options for me to help you out there. And he's going, no, I don't. So I said, well, I'm no help. So in the end, I think he did file it. I did make him come inside. I said, I think we need to have a discussion about how you're going to go about this, because I'm concerned. I said, after the broom incident, I think you have lost your right to to just do your tradesman jobs. You've lost your license. You have to come and have a discussion about how you're going to go about these jobs. He was a wee bit indignant about it. And I said, no, we will discuss it first. So he was very proud. About 5 minutes later, he sent me photos. I'll incorporate them here, of his drain going into his tank, and it was all sorted. Considering that's the sort of thing that we normally would actually just get the plumber to come and do it, and we were going to just do that, and then it's like, he's got the time, he might as well just do it himself. Did you accept you had to sit next to me, Bubby? Coco was so naughty last night. I had a box of stuff that I was doing for my giveaway. So it had the Annie's Keepers and thread drops and things in it, and it had cards and other things in it. And she was pulling them one by one out of the box. And then you were running away with them, weren't you, Bubby? Obviously she wanted attention. I was busy doing other things. See, this is why my nights get bad, isn't it? So I was seriously thinking about, sorry, bumped it, restarting this Absinthe Goggles by Jasmine Beckett Griffiths, and it's on 25 count. It's 2/1 tent stitch, because of the 25 count, because I couldn't see it. But now with having this other magnifier, I don't need to restart it. It means that my other 25 count pieces, like my Casper and my literature and Archer and all those other pieces that I haven't stitched on that much this year, I can go back to them comfortably and stitch on them. So I'm really pleased over that. I have been stitching on my Celtic Summer. I have done quite a bit of her. For example, I did 800 and something stitches on her yesterday, so that's longer than my half an hour that I intended to do. so I won't need to do half an hour on her today. So I've come to the conclusion she's going to have a chunky dress. So the dress is going to be a wee bit wider across the bottom than she should be, but I don't care. I don't think anybody will notice in the end. Jess did say to me last night when I was talking to her, she said it does mean that I won't be able to, if I frame her, I won't be able to use the same frame possibly for all 4 pieces, unless I do the same stuff up for all 4. Oh dear. It's really funny because I did my Blackberry Dragon by Stanley Morrison from Pain Free Crafts this week too. I spent a day on that. I did 1,000 and something stitches on it, and oh wow, I'm going to call her a she, is looking amazing. I was filling out her face, and I did a wee bit more of her wing, gave her a wee bit more colour, and oh, she is stunning. So happy with her. Just working out what is number 1, row 1, and that's row 1, so that will be row 10. Do I do it right? No, that's alright. I only have to undo 2. Oh, I only have to undo 1, I think. Don't know why I'm undoing it, because I don't even think you'd see. 2. So, super impressed with the Blackberry Dragon. Actually, I love all my Pain Free Crafts patterns, to be honest. If I had to pick a designer, that would be definitely the designer I'd pick. It was funny, I was thinking that the All Hallows Eve, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it as a mini. And then when I cleaned up and sorted out all my fabrics and put in the shelving unit, I found that All Hallows Eve, I've already kitted it up. It was like, wow, that's made my choice for me. I will admit I am really shocked how much fabric I've got. Still a few pieces I haven't completely decided on what fabric I will use. Winter has arrived here, feeling a bit cold the last couple of days. I had the log burner going all day yesterday. Kind of felt, there wasn't a frost, but it felt like a black frost all day. It was, there wasn't a frost in the morning, but it came over. The fog rolled in, and it was just cold. So I've got quite a few appointments in Dunedin the next few weeks. Brendan got an appointment. He has to go see his neurologist next week. He only got 2 weeks notice. He actually hasn't seen his neurologist for ages. So let's hope he has better news from his neurologist than I did with mine. Felt a waste of time seeing mine. He pretty much contradicted everything that he said the time before. I think that's probably why I wasn't a happy camper as well. I was so much not a happy camper, I just about, after seeing the neurologist, I just about decided I wasn't actually going to continue having the triceps. I was just going to go, no, I'm done. And I'll just continue how I've been the last 20 years. Let's just say there was a lot of sarcasm in our house the few weeks after I'd seen him, or the few days especially. There's still a few comments being thrown around our house. So let's just say I'm very happy I don't have to see him again for quite some time. Not until the end of the year, when funding will be another thing that comes up again for the year. But if I have to go off the triceps due to the JCV, the John Cunningham virus, because they tested me for that again this last time, because I've been quite grumpy. If that's positive and I have to change, I don't know what I'll change to, because I'm not willing to go back on the steroids because I had such a reaction to them. And yeah, there's not many options here, so I'm not sure I'd even continue doing a MS preventative anyway. So basically he told me that the drug I'm on at the moment for my my vertigo, which has been really bad recently, that's why I have been vomiting for the last few weeks, is only a short-term fix, the medication. It'll stop working. And it was basically, I need to go I need to live without the drugs, and because they'll stop working anyway. It was kind of like I need to live without the crutch of medication. That's kind of what I got from the conversation. Maybe that's not what he meant, but that's what I understood. And this other tablet stand is getting lower and lower, which isn't great. It can't get any lower because it's now resting on my coffee cup. So it'll be interesting to see what stock Dave comes home with today. The friend that Dave goes with on a Tuesday, he was teasing him the other day about he got the bargain of the day last time. Nobody else wanted them. So we definitely need to organise to... I was thinking we didn't need to. We need to organise to clear out that spare room, because I need to get another bed in there, because Dave has been snoring so loud that he has been waking himself up. And for example, the other day I kicked him out of bed and said that no, you can go out on the lazy boy and sleep out in there. That was about 6:30 in the morning. I said no, I'm done. I hadn't really slept at all. It was about 3 times that he'd done it, woken himself up. And no wonder he's so tired with the amount of snoring he does. And I don't think that's going to get any better, so I think the solution is that we just have separate rooms when he's really bad. I know my hand's going to be on the way all the way at the time, because I prefer it coming from a different direction. So I filed all my nails down, because that nail I ripped off when I was filing when we were opening boxes for my storage filing system. I've got a whole box full of silk threads that I never use, so I need to start something with them. I've got a few Shannon Christine's and what are the other ones called? Excuse me, yawning. Ink circles, and I keep looking at that Long Dog is a Christmas one, but I don't think I've bought it yet. I have got that crossword one, I did start it. Jess did it as well. I started it and I had done a couple of words, and I did it on a hand-dyed fabric, and I did it with silk. I did it with a blue. I think it was Darling. And I sneezed over it, and and I got blood all over it because I obviously got a bleeding nose when I sneezed, which wasn't great. So it was blood spots all over it. So when I washed it, even in cold water, it still had brown spots on it. It actually didn't come out, and even in cold water, it actually bled the threads, because you're not meant to wash them. Look, now I'm bending my neck to see my tablet. It's bent so far. It even does it with my tablet stand, with my phone. And it's got an Allen key to lock it. And I have locked it as tight as you can. So, yeah, I'm not very impressed with this at all. Okay. It's that one. So Coco's not very impressed with me at the moment because she's got a pillow that she likes to lick in the morning, and because I've got 2 stitching spots, I put one on each of her spots. Yeah, I put one on her stitching spots, so but there's only one pillow, so she keeps turning around so she can still lick the other pillow, and it's like, it's not there. It is so funny. And then she'll turn back to the other pillow, and then she'll go, it's not there. Oh, must admit, I crack up. Okay, it needs another. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe not. Yeah. It's really hard to actually talk and stitch at the same time. Until you actually do it yourself, you don't realise. Excuse me yawning again. I think that's the problem with taking sleeping tablets. I feel that you're always feeling tired. That's why I wanted to stop taking the sleeping tablets so much, now that my cheek isn't sore. With the antibiotics. I'm not sure I'm going to do too many starts again next year. I still want to start that Talus. I still feel that I have to start that on 25 count because the it's kitted up for 25 count, and I don't want to, at the moment I don't want to start too many more pieces on 10th stitch. I want to finish some pieces on 10th stitch and see how distorted they are before I do too many more on them. and I do like full cross, especially with pieces that have a lot of detail. So I've quite a few pieces that are on 45% or more. It's funny that Blackberry Dragon is on 60% because I took the background off and I've only just started it. Dave even bought me some blackberry plants in the last couple of weeks. There's a wild blackberry plant in our garden that he isn't very impressed with because it's got thorns. And I said, oh, you should leave it. And he's going, oh, I'm not leaving it. It's actually quite funny. I don't remember as a kid when we picked the blackberries, I don't remember them having thorns. Maybe they did, but I just don't remember it. Selective memory, obviously. Obviously, if we did get pricked by the thorns, eating the blackberries, it was worth it. Selective memory. It's funny, there used to be blackberry bushes around all riverways. I don't think there's anywhere now. So the possums that we have had here, they're pests in New Zealand. So we got told that you should bury any carcass or body, or whatever you want to call it, around the property, and it's meant to prevent them coming onto your property. But I'm not sure if that's an old wives' tale or what it is. But we obviously have quite a few here because I've been here. But the interesting thing is because TB New Zealand, they trap them and they test them, and they also trap stoats and ferrets, and they do a count of how many are on your property to see what the numbers are like. And I don't think they caught anything here when they did it. But maybe it's just where they were trapping. So, because the neighbour was saying that he had a lot of possums too, and he said then all of a sudden he couldn't catch any. He said it was only the clever ones that get away, because they just know that what a trap is. It is a lot more humane to do a live trap than to poison them with the poison, because that's a horrible way to die. I wouldn't want to do that. That's why we're quite careful even with mouse poison, because that's horrible for any other wildlife. We have a lot of native birds here. I didn't think we would, but along our driveway there is native trees and things that are established. So I can actually hear them from in the house. I'm not going to go down and take a photo because they are quite elusive, the old tuis and bellbirds. So I found from the other house. You may hear them, but you can't see them. But we can't hear them the same as we could at the other house because we have got double glazing. So we're kind of getting organised. We bought a lemon tree and a lime tree to put next to the house. I'm not sure if they will survive here. They're a bit hit and miss in different areas. But I had to laugh about the fact that I found this kitted up in the regular size with all the thread. I'm not sure if it had fabric with it or not. No, I think it did. So on the shelves there, I showed you a picture of my last update, I think it was. It looked very messy because that was all kitted projects on that bottom shelf. Yeah. So Dave goes to me, you do not need to buy anything to kit up in the next wee while. You don't need to buy anything, any floss. You don't need to buy any fabric. And then I showed him a calf pattern from Pain Free Crafts that had recently been put out. And he goes, oh, I like that. And I said, do you want me to get it? And he goes, yes. And I said, is that the exception to the rule? And he said, yes. And I said, well, if I get that, the cow pattern that I have started for you, I don't do that. And he goes, okay. So I will insert that picture in. I actually had a few issues downloading it this time, but it's only because our internet here is a wee bit hit and miss, which is a wee bit frustrating because we're on a quite a fast satellite plan, but it can be hit and miss. So I tried to get it so we could get it a wired in plan, so we'd get a cable put in down our driveway. But that's an issue because we have got a new royal delivery address. When I went to get a quote to find out how much it would cost to actually get it put in, our royal delivery address doesn't show up on their system. So I think it's just a matter of time. And I just have to wait, but I might have to give them a ring. I did try, and it was all automated, and it said you had to go onto the website. Well, the website did not help me at all. Which I find quite frustrating. It's actually a lot like that now. That the only thing you can do is actually do it via the website. Oh, that's right. So where else did I go wrong? I've done a stitch wrong. Have I done that stitch wrong? I don't think I'm just going to go somewhere else. So, yeah, we can't, I'm not sure what to do at this stage. I think we might just have to live with what we've got. I wish we'd done it wired. I thought at the time when we we got this way, it was the only option because they weren't doing any new connections at the time, and I think that's why we did it this way. And it could well be still the same, to be honest. This does not help. This tablet holder is a fail. What can I use to prop it? As soon as I pull it out, it's 2 seconds later, it's dropping. Okay, I'll tighten it again. Goodness gracious. I don't think you can tighten it anymore. I'm not sure that is right. Doesn't help having the tablet stand. It feels like at knee level. Right, let's go over here. Oh look, I've nearly done 200 stitches. So Dave won't get home until about 3 o'clock today. So he's gone to Lawnville, which is near Invercargill. And so they drive there, they do the sale, and then they go to the pub for lunch, and then they drive back. So I'm pleased that Dave's starting to have a wee bit of a social life now. Because he has worked so much for so long and not had any social life. He's always just worked. So he definitely deserves it. I was teasing him last night. We were saying that, oh, you might have to start having a social calendar budget. If you're going to be spending $70 for a meal once a month. But Jess and I were saying, but it's good to be able to see, because there's quite a few people, the neighbours and that sort of people that actually go to this luncheon. So I think it is quite a good thing for him to go to. Trying to work out what I stitched and what I haven't. Maybe. This tablet stand will not be a keeper. I must actually write a feedback. I don't normally actually write feedbacks on things. But I actually think I will for once. Yeah, I think I am going to write, it is a piece of trash. So this morning, I have tightened that about 4 times. Which is astronomical. Because I haven't even used it for very long. Okay, where's another stitch? So I assume the reason why Brendan needs to go see his neurologist is because he has had several seizures recently, and it has meant that his medication isn't working at all, and they keep upping it, and he might be at the top of what he's allowed to be on that medication, so they might be going to increase or introduce something else. But I actually thought that that was going to be the only medication that he was allowed. The worst thing is, due to his seizures, they won't operate on his shoulder until he's seizure free for a year. So it's frustrating. Dave was looking at buying something to heat water for the calves in the last few days. He was either going to get a hot water cylinder or just a probe to go into the water to heat it up to a certain degree, so it would be on timer, and then it heat the water up, and then he could make the milk powder up for the calves that he's going to get. So that'll be interesting to see what option he goes with, what is going to be viable. I said, oh, I don't even know if I'd do that. And he goes, what do you mean? And I said, isn't the automatic calf feeders? And he goes, yeah. And I said, but doesn't it heat the milk and add the powder and make it all up? And he goes, yeah. I said, well, why don't you get that? And he goes, because of the cost. I'm going, yeah, but why not? And he goes, because it's 11 grand. And I'm going, yeah. I still didn't see the problem. And he goes, it's 11 grand to do 100 calves. I'm going, ah. And I'm going, I see. So is a little bit too expensive. And he goes, yes. I just about had a heart attack. I thought I'd been videoing for the last hour and it hadn't been recording. Anyway, so it was 11 grand plus GST, and it did 100 calves. And I was saying, yeah. And he goes, yeah, but it could cost me $700 just to heat the milk, and I could do it myself. And I'm going, yeah, I know what you choose. And he goes, yeah, and you'd get the automatic system. And I'm going, yeah, but I said, but 11 grand, it would have to do a lot of calves to pay for itself. So, and I said, I don't think it would ever pay for itself. So I can understand why you don't want to get one. So thank you very much for joining me this morning. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will catch up with you next week, and I will show you what I have been stitching on. I may change and actually stitch on my literature today, because I really want to get a wee bit more progress on her. I hope this hasn't vibrated too much. I really need to find another system of doing this. Hey, the tablet stand hasn't moved. Obviously I've tightened it enough now. That's funny. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.